Chapter 4. Lynn. "Lynn Kingston!" shrieks a voice I'd love to avoid. Great. Just what I need. I'm already running late. My first period is a free period. Usually I sleep in or work on homework, but after the whole debacle with Mark Slater the night before, I was antsy. He said, "I love you," and I said, "No, that's not possible." He told me he loved me after dating for only 2 weeks. 2 weeks! I was taken off guard and spoke before my brain had time to connect to my mouth. He pushed the issue, and I broke up with him. He confessed his love, and I broke up with him. I wasn't even planning to break up with him. It just sort of happened. With the impending awkwardness of today looming over me, I was at school before 7 and ran drills for the last couple of hours. I should have been able to shower and change before second period, but after hearing the announcements, I might have shot hoops longer than I should have. When I no longer felt antsy, I barely had time to take a quick shower and run across the school for second period. "Whitney, I don't have time for whatever this is. I need to get to class." I turned to face the cheer captain who seems to be the bane of my existence these last few weeks. Blonde, blue-eyed, and completely annoying, Whitney is the last person I want to see right now. "You stole my boyfriend and my crown. I don't care about your class. It was bad enough that you took Mark from me. He should have been mine. I don't even understand why he'd want you. You look like a drowned rat. But now you've taken my crown for homecoming too," Whitney screeches. I learned from our last few exchanges that ignoring her only makes her worse, and I definitely don't have time for that level of a hissy fit. Mark's the quarterback and senior captain of the football team. Whitney didn't take it well when he decided to ask someone to be his girlfriend, and it wasn't her. Me being a junior and a tomboy added even more insult to injury. I might be one of the most popular juniors, but I'm still a junior and therefore, in her head, beneath her. She isn't exactly wrong about the drowned rat comment. I barely had time to shower, which meant no time to do anything with my hair as I rushed out of the locker room. At least it's pajama day, so I have an excuse to dress like a slob. Not that I really need one. "I didn't steal anything from you. You and Mark were never together, and he asked me out. Homecoming court is voted on by the students. Maybe no one voted for you because you're a raging hag. Besides, I was voted junior homecoming princess, not a homecoming queen nominee. In no way did I steal your crown. Plus, Mark and I aren't together anymore, so maybe instead of yelling at me, you could go bug him and see if he wants to date you." Her eyes light up and her anger fades at my last statement. "He broke up with you? He must have realized we'd be so much better together." Whitney turns to go back to whatever witch trial she escaped from. I might have been the one to break up with Mark, and I know Mark wants nothing to do with her, but I'm definitely done with her brand of crazy. It's bad enough that I'll have to deal with the rest of the cheerleaders for all of the homecoming nonsense for the rest of the week. I start back towards my class as the late bell rings. I definitely didn't try to steal her crown. Not only did I not have a say in who the senior class nominated, but I didn't even care anyway. Being junior homecoming princess isn't exactly the crowning achievement for me that Whitney seems to think it is. It means more obligations this week on top of my already packed schedule. Not only with the actual homecoming activities, but I'm sure now I'll have to go dress shopping again. It's more responsibilities to juggle and more people not to let down. Also, Mark was nominated for homecoming queen, and I don't exactly relish the thought of having to spend a lot of time with him this week. On the upside, the junior homecoming prince is Grayson. He's the first-string wide receiver and one of my closest friends. Getting to have him by my side ought to make the entire homecoming court nonsense bearable. Colton, my younger brother, is nominated as freshman homecoming prince, but he doesn't like for me to acknowledge him at school. I finally make it to Mrs. Green's class and catch the door as it's closing behind someone else. "Miss Kingston, Mr. Prince, how nice of you to join us. Since you're both late, you can be partnered together for this project," Miss Green says. One look at the room told me that in the few minutes I was late, everyone else had already been paired up. I catch Xander's eyes as he shakes his head, which tells me there's no use in fighting it, and Xander probably tried to argue the decision. Xander's my twin and only friend in AP English. He's shorter than me at 5 feet 8 inches, has blue eyes and brown hair. We don't have much in common, but since our parents insist on us taking all advanced classes, we've always had mostly the same schedule since 6th grade, and we always partner together for projects. Living in the same house makes it easier to coordinate the work outside of school. That won't work for this project, though. Being on the basketball varsity team since freshman year and being close friends with the best-looking and most athletic guys in our Cool. May make me fairly popular with most of the students at Carson Valley High, but the other kids in my advanced classes have never talked to me. I walked to Mrs. Green's desk to get the packet she's holding out for us before sitting at one of the two empty desks. As Mrs. Green talks at the front about our project, I read over the packet she gave me. This project will be 30% of our grade, and we'll be working on it for the rest of this semester. We're supposed to choose a classic novel or play from the list Mrs. Green gave us and read through it and watch its movie adaptation. Then we need to write a 5-page paper on the differences between the book and the movie, discuss how well the story has aged and whether it's still relevant in our modern day, do a presentation to the class about what would be different if a similar story took place now, and have some sort of visual aid, either a PowerPoint, diorama, or trifold. This seems like it'll be a lot of work. The packet includes a grading rubric which states that 20% of the total grade will be based on the presentation being original and creative. Not only will I be partnered with someone other than Xander, but it'll be a long and in-depth project. First, I'm voting Homecoming Princess, then the run-in with Whitney, and now this. I hope my morning won't keep with this trend of less than stellar news. Mrs. Green finishes her spiel at the front of the classroom, then gives us the rest of the class to get started on our project. I turn to look at who my partner is. Mrs. Green said Price, right? That at least gives me something to go on. The boy next to me has his eyes glued to his desk. When I finally give up on him looking up of his own accord, I speak. Hey, I'm Lynn. He finally turns to look at me. He has brown hair that hangs over his face, covering one of his eyes. The eye I can see is light brown and still not looking at me. He has black, thick-rimmed glasses that look like Harry Potter's, but are square instead of round. He's wearing a white shirt, and I can't tell what's supposed to be on it because there's a brown stain all over its front. He still doesn't say anything. I guess first we should figure out what days work for us to get together to work on our project. Then we can decide what we want to do the project over. Sound good? He still doesn't respond, but he does finally make eye contact. He looks like a deer caught in headlights, which might be funny if I didn't need him to participate in this project. Maybe I can do the project by myself and put his name on it? Of course, I'd at least need to know his name for that. Guessing that it's Price probably isn't good enough to put on a project. Does that plan sound okay to you? I repeat.